Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great day today. It's very beautiful out despite everything going on. It's actually quite warm here. I've been seeing videos and photos of people in tank tops and shorts all week, and it's been raining here, and I've just been waiting for the moment when I could do it too. So I'm very thankful. Got outside today and took a look in the greenhouse at the seeds coming up and was just feeling very thankful. I've already put out a couple videos in response to everything going on, and after talking with some friends quite a bit this week, and as we really learn where things are headed, and we begin to think about that a little bit more so than just right now, I think I'm going to be probably releasing another video soon about what things we can do now to help us later, which we did go over quite a bit of that in my first video, A Homesteader's Tips for Surviving Global Crisis. So please take a peek at that if you haven't already. And please feel free to ask any questions. I do feel like one of the biggest messages that we're receiving right now is to spend time learning about plants, learning about your closest local herbalist, learning from the people who are putting all of the knowledge out so generously. I have really been trying to read less articles and listen to more of the videos being put out by herbalists and doctors and just people whose opinions I really value. So one thing we know about modern medicine and viruses is that there really isn't a modern medicine for viruses. We have lots of things to kill bacterias, and we have antibiotics, but taking care of viruses is extremely tricky. So herbal medicine is really important in this time for that very reason. As we have adapted, as bacteria and viruses have adapted, so have plants. Plants have been right here with us. So that, and there are many, many incredible and easily accessed antiviral plants. I go over that quite a bit in my second video that I put out, so I'm not going to get too into that here. I've really only got about 12 minutes in order to keep this posted on IGTV. But during this time, make sure that you're learning about the plants around you and how you can, grow certain things or have access to them yourselves. In thinking about that was a big part of this release, realizing that I can give this information to, anyone willing to listen, but they will then need to go out and find or grow these plants and then wait a certain period before they can turn it into a remedy that they need to take. So I'm hoping that in offering this, it will carry you through. Or if you just simply don't have access to any of these plants or the materials to make them, that it will sustain you. So I'm going to go into each product and its uses first, and then at the end I'm going to talk a little bit about the sliding scale situation that I have got for people who are without work for the foreseeable future, and what you can do as someone who will be paying full price to help ensure that we get more of these remedies out to people. Another thing that I'm hoping to do soon is my son's school and a lot of schools out here are doing food banks for children with food stamps who were receiving a free lunch at school every day, and now that schools are closed and they're taking volunteers there and taking more donations than just food and money. So I'm really hoping to try to get some of these remedies to people who wouldn't otherwise even find them. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go in order from if you are someone right now who is not sick, you have not been around people that you know of that have the virus, what care you might want to take, and we'll just kind of slowly go in as though we were starting there, we got the virus, and then recovered. So there's a lot of information going around about elderberry causing cytokine storms. I've released my own response to this, as well as many other herbalists who have responded to this. It's really just not true. I'm not going to get too far into that again here because I've released that information elsewhere and I really need to move through these products. Of course, you can have sensitivities to elderberry outside of that. So this is not to say that there are zero sensitivities to elderberry, but the rumors that quickly went around about elder causing that are just very untrue and have been debunked many times over. So elderberry syrup is still going to be a wonderful option to take right now while we're building our immunity. We're trying to strengthen our body's response to intrusive bacteria and viruses, and really just make sure everything is like functioning properly, and that if we were to come in contact with the virus, we're strong enough that we don't necessarily contract it. So I'm going to read the description and the ingredients. And this is our elderberry syrup plus, because it's got some of our antivirals in there as well. And this is, if you've bought our elderberry syrup since before Christmas, it's been this recipe. A super immune booster and effective natural remedy for coughs, colds, and the flu. This powerful combination of antioxidants, vitamins, and bioflavonoids have been called upon for centuries due to its popularity with children and adults alike. All organic spices with local seasonal elderberries, hawthorn berries, ginger, raw honey, usnea, turkey tail mushroom, astragalus, and spices. So we only use fresh, wild foraged elderberries. We get those from our area. Here in Kingston Springs, we freeze as many as we possibly can, and we refuse to use dried elderberries. I have many reasons for that. A lot of you know that I really, really prefer to work with fresh or freshly dried plants when possible. So this is going to be a really nice, fresh, strong remedy. I also received the hawthorn berries fresh from a friend in Washington. Usnea and turkey tail and astragalus are going to come up quite a bit in all of these because they are antivirals and serious immune boosters. So this is our elderberry plus. I have made smaller bottles for this release to get as much as I possibly can out there. So you're going to see this in a 4-ounce bottle instead of the 6 or 8-ounce bottles. Okay, so we also have our antiviral elixir. This is maybe the most important one. This is something that you can take as a preventative, but this is something that if you were to contract the virus or any virus or to get sick, you would want, to stop taking your elderberry syrup at that point and switch to this. So let me say that again. You can use this as a preventative, but you really want to hit it hard once you've contracted something. Oh man, this is the wrong description. Hold on, let me read from my computer. Okay, I'm not going to waste too much time looking, and I printed these labels just to get this video going. I actually have not poured or labeled anything yet, but that's okay. I've got my husband home helping today, and a friend coming to help, so we'll get it all out to you guys by tomorrow. So I'll just go ahead and read the ingredients and then go into the uses. So this has reishi decoction and extraction, turkey tail decoction and extraction, usnea decoction and extraction. And I say it in that way because reishi and turkey tail have more water-soluble properties than they do alcohol. So there's a little bit of alcohol, but there's about 75% of a strong decoction of these mushrooms in the usnea. Same with baikal skullcap root. Baikal is one of the most important ingredients to be used right now against the virus, but it is a high-dose herbal, meaning you really need to be taking 3 milliliters of it at least twice a day. And that's hard to do if it's not in a very strong concentration. So what I've done is made a very strong concentration by doing a really strong decoction as well as the tincture. So we've got that. We've got our propolis, myrrh, elderflower and leaf, Japanese knotweed root, sweet anise, lemon balm, licorice, honeysuckle, olive leaf, St. John's wort, and honey. I do want to point out that I will be offering this in a smaller bottle as a concentration without St. John's wort and honey. St. John's wort has actually quite a few medical contraindications. For example, if you're on antidepressants, you want to avoid St. John's wort. So if you are buying and if you're vegan and you don't want the honey, this is an option for you. If you're buying that one, that's going to be a little even more concentrated because it's mostly the tinctures and not so much the water extraction that I've also done. So we're seeing Baikal, Japanese knotweed root, and honeysuckle in a lot of these formulas right now. And this is a formula that's been around in Chinese medicine for a really long time against something called mast cell activation syndrome. I'm not going to get too far into that here, but that is actually very similar-ish to the situation with the cytokines, which, again, I recommend that you read the information that me or another herbalist has put out about that. But basically, it is our body signaling to the cells what's going on, and sometimes there can be issues that happen in that signaling. So this is a really incredible formula for viruses. Also, just all of these other ingredients are also antiviral. Sweet Annie in particular is a very potent antiviral that can be found wild foraged in most areas. It's really good at self-seeding and growing. One of my favorite herbs. It smells delicious too. That, lemon balm, licorice, all of these are all going to be really potent antivirals. So again, this is going to be great as a preventative, great if you contract something. All right, I'm already getting low on time here. Respiratory elixir. This is another very important one. I do also have a cold and cough syrup that has a lot of respiratory herbs, and I'm going to be also offering our lung mint tincture, which we have all the time. And lung mint is an incredible tincture for the lungs. Lung mint is going to be a little bit more on the drying side. Its main focus is restoring the tissues of the lungs. All right, I'm going to stop this video.